and her sons Tenzin and Ty are very worried about their pet chook Daisy.
We're thinking that she's actually got a broken wing or dislocated. I'm not sure, as we don't know much about birds.
Hey Chris, I've got your next appointment here now.
What is it?
I'll do an impression for you if you like.
Dog in convulsions.
Chicken.
In here we get all sorts of animals. Dogs, cats, guinea pigs, rabbits, snakes. We don't get too many chickens. Chickens aren't your typical Bondi pet.
She had a bit of an altercation with a 3-year-old that lives up the road. He broke out of his house and came down and thought maybe he'd take her for a walk or something. And I guess there was a bit of a fight between them both, because I think he got a few scratches as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just want to feel my way along there and just see if I can feel any breaks. Just trying to keep it cool. Very nice. A bit more, thank you. The really encouraging thing for me right now is the fact she is actually willing to use those wings. She's really flapping them around. So what I'd be suspicious of is that perhaps her shoulders are working fine, but if she has a problem, it may be lower down in the wings.
Yeah.
Any fracture in a bird's wing is always quite serious.
Yeah.
Because those wings move around a lot, so it's hard to actually stabilise a fracture. So I guess just prepare yourself that it might be difficult to fix this.
Okay, she's got a very high temperature. Her body temperature is 40. Okay, so the normal is, oh, and there's the blood.
8-year-old Safi has been brought into the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH after losing a huge amount of blood.
And she's blind, you said?
She went totally blind last year.
Susie is babysitting Safi while her owner is overseas. She's been like a surrogate mum to the little Shitzu since she was a pup.
I know her mum devastated. It won't surprise me if she just gets the next plane back. I don't know what she'll do.
That's some serious bleeding from her rectum. All right, we just need to do a blood count and make sure how anemic she is. Check if she needs a transfusion. All right, baby. Good girl. There are a few conditions which could be causing Safi to bleed from her bowel. Now, one possibility is ulcers, another is inflammatory bowel disease or an infection. Those are all treatable. Another cause is cancer, and that would be the worst possible diagnosis.
Now, Days, what I normally do here is hypnotise you so you lie still and hold your wings out like that.
Chris is trying to find out what damage has been caused to Daisy's wing after the chicken had a run-in with her 3-year-old neighbour.
Getting good at this. X-ray.
Fortunately, the X-ray shows Daisy's wing is not broken, just sprained.
That's normally a pretty strong joint, so for her to actually sprain that takes a fair bit of force. And the only force I can really think of is her wrenching herself out of the grips of a terrorising 3-year-old. Just taking some time out.
Look at that. Hypnotised chook. I wish I could do that to the kids.
The problem we've now got is that joint is so swollen that every single time Daisy tries to lift that wing, it's causing more damage. So the key here is to immobilise it. But have you ever tried to put a sling on a chicken? To bandage her wing, I do need to whack her up. Can you give me a hand? Do you want to try this, Ten?
She doesn't want to. You are now coming out of your hypnotism. Oh, hello.
You're back.
You did it. Yeah.
She's got her amazed face on again.
It's like, oh my God.
So this is going to act like a sling to support this wing of hers. And just mean that she doesn't have to worry about holding it up. And by doing that, it'll allow it to rest and heal really quickly. She's ready to go.
Lovely.
We want to give you these.
That's very cool.
Eggs, no, there's
So that's her work?
It is.
I think that's some sort of first. I don't think I've ever been paid by the animal that I've treated. Is that how you pay the bills? It's all right. That's fine. Thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
At the Bondi Clinic, Senior Constable Jackie Largo from the King's Cross Police Station has arrived with a very unusual detainee.
Plainclothes police brought someone into custody for a drug-related offence, and she was in a plastic handbag.
A fright little thing, aren't you? Little girl.
I've taken the dog off her just because she was too drug affected to look after it, so it just wouldn't be responsible to leave the dog with her.
You gonna come clean?
Police believe the person they arrested is not the owner of the puppy, but how the pup ended up in a plastic handbag is a mystery.
You put her under serious interrogation so far?
Well, no, she refused to be electronically interviewed, so obviously she's executed her right to silence and not say anything.
Going on her teeth, she hasn't started losing her baby teeth yet, so she's probably only about 12 weeks.
Yeah, I thought she was pretty young.
Yeah. Too young to be hanging out in the cross, huh?
She does feel quite warm. So you said
She has been shivering, she has been shaking. We've offered her water, but she hasn't really had anything to drink, but she has been shivering the whole time.
Yeah, which is strange because she's actually really hot. The worrying thing for me straight away is the fact it's a 30-degree day outside. It must have been at least 40 inside this bag, yet this little puppy is shivering.
You know there's a bowl full of it there.
When they're that young, they have this really poor ability to keep their own body temperature in the normal range. They overheat very quickly and they get cold very quickly. So for her to go through this today, it's really going to push her to the limits.
Wow, that is seriously anemic. So that's the amount of red blood cells. It should be heading up towards the halfway mark.
8-year-old Safi is hemorrhaging blood. Test results have confirmed she's in a critical condition.
So she's got a blood count of 14%. Normal for a dog is above 37%. She needs a transfusion right now.
Only a few months ago, a rare disease robbed the Shitzu of her eyesight. Now she faces an even tougher battle.
This blood transfusion is going to make her feel better, but it is just a short-term fix. We need to work out what's causing this hemorrhage if we have any chance of saving her life.
As the transfusion starts, Susie has to face up to calling Safi's owner in Europe.
I mean, I know it's not my fault, but it's not the news you want to tell somebody. You know, it's her baby and she just loves it to bits.
Is she a high-risk prisoner, do you think?
No, she doesn't need constant observation.
This little girl's got an incredible story. She was found in a plastic handbag being carried by someone that was high on drugs. The police have arrested her and found this little puppy. It's 30 degrees today. You can only imagine how hot it was inside this bag. Her temperatures are just on that upper end of normal there. So
Okay.
she's certainly warm, but it's not to the stage where we need to be worried about
Oh, good. Yeah.
her being affected by heat stroke or anything like that. I'm just going to scan her for a microchip. Yeah. So, I mean, it says it all. No ID found. It's upsetting to think that there's an owner out there that knows she's missing but has absolutely no way of finding out where she's gone. Without that microchip, all you can do is hope. This one hurts.
She may not like it, but this microchip will ensure the puppy's identity is never a mystery again.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. It is. It's gonna be all right.
But there's still one last thing this little girl needs, and that's a name.
Famous girl in the cross. A little Tilly.
Tilly, could be Tilly.
She looks pretty divine. Tilly Devine was an infamous madam at the King's Cross during the 1920s, and since this little puppy was found in the cross and has had her run-ins with the police, I just reckon the two have a fair bit in common. So what you're saying is you're transferring custody over to me?
That's correct. No death on custody on my shift.
No pressure. We've recorded no conviction, you know. Spoke to Constable Jackie. Everything is so up in the air. So really all we can do at the moment is show some love. You gonna be okay? Oh, don't make that face. Show what care is all about. And hopefully in the meantime we'll get some more answers. Oh, don't make that face. If you don't mind, just gonna have to insist on something.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris has become custodian of little Tilly.
Yep, it's a mugshot.
The 12-week-old puppy was rescued at King's Cross by a quick-thinking police officer
And to the side, thank you.
after being found sweltering inside a plastic handbag.
No one can tell us who she is or who she belongs to. And Tilly, while you're eating, it's probably time to talk about your custody arrangements because Jackie never really said where you had to be held in custody, did she? I've got some ideas. And Till, happy to say you're the first girl from the cross that I've actually brought home here. But you need to know something. I'm actually not in charge here, all right? There's someone you'd probably refer to as the prison warden in here. George and Tilly have a lot in common. George was rescued by the police. He was dumped in a cage in the ocean down at Bondi. So the problem we've got right now is the fact that we're battling hypothermia and was rushing to me late one night, essentially blue. He'd nearly drowned. And so it was the police that saved his life. And with little Tilly, it's the police that saved her life as well. George, that's not a welcome. He's gone. Till, don't take it too personally. He was like that with me when he first met me too. And we get along fine. You winked. No. What are you doing? Yeah, I know. You never do this. No. George, sort that out. Sort it out. You're in charge around here. Sort this out. George. You're just going to stand there and watch it. I really should have thought about this more, shouldn't I? George is proof that even if you do have a rough start or a rough patch in your life, then with a bit of love and a bit of care, things can turn around. Can you sense the distance between us? It could be about as close as we're going to get. He's not thrilled.
Sleep now, Bubby. Good girl.
8-year-old Safi is in a critical condition after losing a huge amount of blood.
Bowel cancer could definitely cause the symptoms that Safi's had, so I'm really hoping that's not what we find. An endoscopy is basically a fibre optic cable with the camera on the end, and we can use that to put down Safi's throat into her stomach and also up her back end to have a look at her colon. This is a really big concern. The lining of the intestine is looking really quite lumpy and irregular. It should be really smooth and even and doesn't look very good at all.
No more abnormalities are found, and now the biopsies will be sent for analysis.
We didn't see any obvious tumours or polyps or anything like that. She's got through the procedure okay, and now we just have to keep our fingers crossed. She's up here.
Oh, hello, gorgeous.
Safi's distraught babysitter Susie is now finding it hard to cope.
Nothing seemed to be straightforward. It just seems to be endless tests and maybe not even good results at the end. That's what I'm really worried about. I know it's not my dog, and in some ways it makes it worse.
Hey Mel, you know why she looks so good?
Why?
Because it's not cancer.
Oh, that's very exciting.
That's good.
At Sash, it's great news for Safi. The little Shitzu was in a critical condition when she was rushed in, bleeding dramatically from the bowels.
Yeah. Want to go home? Want to see Susie? Hey? The most probable cause of Safi's hemorrhaging was either something that she's eaten or a really bad infection. It's such a relief that Safi doesn't have cancer. The poor little dog has been through so much with her blindness and other health issues, and it's such great news for Susie and the rest of the family that Safi's going to be okay.
Hey, there's my little Safi. Hello, lovely dear. Hello. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here, lovely. It's just been too much, and we're just really, really, really excited that she's coming home again at last.
Susie and her four-legged family will continue to look after the rejuvenated patient.
All the other little doggies were so excited to see her at the gate and jumped all over and gave her lots of kisses and gave her a huge welcome. Safi, there you go.
As for Safi's owner, she's on a plane heading back home.
It's a great relief. We're really, really happy. It's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Oh, one nice big family again. Yes. Oh, big kiss. Big kiss, kiss.
Later that week at the clinic, while Tilly's having a little nap,
Thank you. Okay, bye.
there's a welcome phone call for Chris.
That was Constable Jackie from King's Cross Police. So an owner has come forward, contacted them, who apparently owns Tilly. So she's coming in now. I don't really know much information about her. The police are happy for her to pick her up, and if they're happy, then I'm happy. Got something here for you.
Hello, Abby.
It's Abby.
Yeah, Abby.
I've been calling her Tilly. Oh, she's happy to see you.
It's been horrible. I've been so worried about her. Yeah, I'm so happy to have her home. She's safe and well.
This is the first time I've seen her really just truly content.
But just how Tilly ended up in the cross in that plastic handbag remains a mystery.
A friend had her for the morning, and then some problems happened and they lost her.
As for the person who was found with Tilly, police have decided not to press charges.
Considering everything that Tilly's been through, it's really nice to know that she has an owner that loves her, and she's going home with her. And, you know, sometimes, as Tilly knows, what happens in the cross stays in the cross.
Hi, I'm Dr. Danny Dusek from Bondi Vet. If you love our show and want to see more, plus some amazing content about pets and how to care for them, hit the subscribe button. Click that little notification bell and we'll see you on our next video.